Dawn crawls in like a low animal, cold breath sliding through broken boards as a white stray presses her belly to a splintered crate and counts the thin voices of 5 newborns, each cry a small hook, tugging her spine toward the road that hums beyond the fence. The metallic scent of rain on corrugated tin hangs in the air, sharp enough to sting, and somewhere a bucket lid knocks twice, like knuckles at a door no one wants to open. But hunger opens it anyway, so she steps out, ribs knitting and fun knitting beneath damp fur, eyes leveling with a strip of pale paint that slices across the blacktop and turns every crossing into a wager. And she studies the rhythm of distant engines the way a hawk studies grass, waiting for the pause that means maybe, just maybe. And in that pause she darts to the torn mouth of a trash sack, pulls a meat bone slick with old grease, teeth skating, paws slipping, every inch of ground a decision, every sound a warning, a shout from the yard, a broom swiped at, empty air, a low dog's rumble swelling and then falling back, and she chooses forward because back is only the crate, and the crate is only cries getting thinner, so she drags the scrap home, nudges the warm mouths, licks the milk-sour crowns until the nest quiets, then turns again, because one bone fills no bellies for long, and the road sings its fast, careless song, and the fence has a gap where her whiskers can pass, and the day is already too big for small bodies. So she breathes once, twice, lines her paws with the painted edge of danger, measures the beating of her heart against the distance, and asks the only question that matters to a mother with nothing but will. How much of herself must she spend to buy 5 more minutes of life? Before daylight fully claims the fields, the house on the hill wakes to the low hum of trucks rolling past. Beneath the noise, under a crate darkened by rain and time, a white stray guards her newborns against the morning chill. Life here moves fast, but survival moves faster. Every rustle, every smell, every heartbeat is a small negotiation with danger. Hit like, subscribe, and comment the day, city, and time out you're watching from, so this story of instinct, loss, and resilience can reach more hearts that still believe compassion matters. The world around her doesn't slow down for weakness. Tires screech, doors slam, people hurry by, and the wind carries the smell of fried food and exhaust through the fence slats. Yet inside that small wooden box there's stillness. 5 tiny bodies breathing in rhythm, a mother's chest rising with quiet defiance. The barn nearby leans under its own weight. The grass is brittle, the dirt packed hard. Everything here bears the mark of use and neglect. But in that roughness, something pure fights to hold on. Each day will demand more from her, more risk, more pain, more of the body she can't spare. Yet she will give it again and again, because that's what mothers do when the world looks away. This isn't a story about comfort. It's about instinct's refusal to die, about how small lives test the edge of mercy, and how even broken things can find shelter. In this place of dust and noise, where love has to be built from scraps, one stray cat will show what survival really costs, and how redemption sometimes crawls on 4 legs, dragging hope through the rain. The crate is still damp from last night's rain, but the 5 kittens breathe in a soft rhythm that almost sounds like confidence, even though they have never seen the world beyond the splintered wood around them. Their mother scans the yard, whiskers twitching at every shift of wind, every echo of metal from the nearby road. The smell of old oil floats through the fence slats, mixing with the sour trace of spoiled food, and her stomach tightens in a slow, grinding ache that has already become familiar. Hunger is not the enemy she fears most. The enemy is time, because time steals strength from nursing bodies faster than anything else. She presses her nose against each kitten in a quick count, then steps out again, paws sinking into the muddy patch that used to be grass before tires chewed it into brown mush. The sky is pale, the kind of pale that lies about being calm, because every sound under it is rushed and sharp. A screen door slams somewhere. A distant dog barks twice. She hears the road before she sees it, the low hum of engines moving like a long throat clearing itself over and over. She keeps low, tail close to the ground, moving along the fence line where the weeds give her cover. A plastic bag sticks to her leg, crinkles, and she shakes it off before the noise draws attention. A gust of wind flips a sheet of newspaper across the yard, and she freezes, eyes locked, gauging threat. Only paper. Paper cannot kill, but the world is full of things that can. She reaches the gap in the fence where the boards never lined up right. On the other side, discarded food containers, soda cups, and half-crushed boxes lie in a heap, the unofficial dumping ground of passing hands too busy to care. She sniffs until the scent of meat rises from beneath a tangle of wrappers. Her mouth waters, but she studies the angle, the shadows, the airflow. She has learned that food left in the open is never free. There is always a price. A broom swung at her spine, a kick, a thrown object, a shout that hits harder than impact. Still, she edges closer and hooks a small chicken bone with her teeth. The skin is gone, the flavor ghost-like, but it is something. She drags it backward through the gap, one tug at a time, ears rotating like tiny radar dishes for the first sign of trouble. A voice erupts from the porch of a nearby house. "Get out of here!" The sound explodes across the yard like a hammer dropped on tile. She bolts, bone clacking against her teeth, heart punching at her ribs. She reaches the crate, drops the scrap inside, and the kittens latch onto the faint scent of grease as if it were a feast. She licks each head again, calming the panic she stirred by leaving. For a moment, the world shrinks to their breathing. That is her first small victory, something to quiet 5 mouths for 5 more minutes. But the ache in her own body remains, deeper now, sharpened by the run. Her fur is patchy from weeks of scraping against wood and wire. A thin scar cuts across her left ear from a night when a dog's teeth got too close. She curls around the kittens, sharing her heat, but her eyes never fully close. Sleep is not rest out here. Sleep is a gamble. She listens to the wind's shift, to the way it carries the smell of food trucks from the distant road, to the metallic clang of a gate someone forgot to latch. Her tail taps the wooden floor once, twice, counting something only she understands. Then she stands again. 1 bone is not enough. 5 lives require more than scraps. She slips out again, but this time she does not head for the fence gap. She follows the scent of water. Somewhere close there is a bowl, a bucket, a drip. Her paws lead her toward the back steps of a house where a metal dish sits, half filled with rain. But before she reaches it, the door swings open. A child, no older than infancy itself, peers out, holding a crust of bread. The mother cat freezes. The child bends, sets the bread on the step, and retreats as quickly as he appeared, door clicking shut behind him. Silence. No shouting. No broom. Just the bread, still soft. She creeps forward, takes it, and backs away slow. That is her second victory. Hunger delayed, not defeated. She returns to the crate and softens the bread with her own saliva, letting each kitten nibble from her mouth. They are not ready for solids, but the flavor gives them something to cling to besides milk. She settles again, body wrapped around them, but the world outside refuses to be still. Engines rumble closer. A horn blares. A dog lets out a frustrated wail. The air thickens with the smell of gasoline and something else, something hot, fast, uncaring. Her whiskers tremble. Instinct tells her a truth she cannot ignore. The road is not just near, it is hungry too. And now the question that pushes through her bones: how long before the road takes notice of her family? She stays awake through most of the morning, eyes half closed, tracking every vibration that runs through the ground. Heat rises off the road in thin ribbons that make the horizon shimmer, and insects hum through the weeds like static. Each sound feels like a choice: to stay, to move, to risk. The kittens have fallen into a deep sleep, their bellies round from milk, their bodies pressed against her flank. For the first time, the air tastes calm. Then the wind shifts. A sharp metallic scent cuts through everything. Cans, oil, something spoiled but edible. The hunger inside her answers immediately. She steps out again, nose low, paws landing without sound. Beyond the fence, the ditch is filled with trash. A crushed can spins in the wind. A torn fast food bag flutters like a warning flag. She noses deeper, finds a lump wrapped in foil, rips it open with quick bites. Cold meat. Grease clings to her fur. She eats fast, each chew a victory stolen from the world's indifference. When she lifts her head, a man's boots stand 2 feet away. His shadow cuts her body in half. He kicks toward her, shouting words she can't translate, but knows mean danger. She bolts, foil clattering behind her, lungs tearing at the air. A rock misses her by inches. She slides under the fence, panting, chest heaving. The kittens stir at the smell of fear on her. She licks them until their tiny tremors fade. Afternoon presses down, heavy and hot. The crate's shade grows thin. She moves it a few inches, dragging it where the ground is cooler. The sound of wings bursts overhead, crows fighting for something shiny, and the noise sends her heart racing again. When quiet returns, she crouches and watches the edge of the yard. The child appears once more, this time with a cup of water. He sets it down and glances toward the door, as if afraid to be seen. The cat watches, unmoving, tail twitching. The boy smiles, a quick, small thing, and disappears. She waits until the footsteps fade before approaching. The water is warm but clean. She drinks, then carries a mouthful back to moisten the kitten's lips. It's a mercy she doesn't understand, but she takes it. By evening, the light softens to gold. Crickets start their steady pulse, and somewhere a screen door creaks open again. The smell of dinner drifts from kitchens she will never enter. Salt, fat, the sweetness of corn syrup. Her own nest smells of damp wood and fur. She nudges each kitten, counting again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The smallest barely moves. She cleans its face, then curls tighter around them all, wrapping the thin whip of her tail across their backs. The world cools. The hum of cars turns to a low lullaby, almost gentle if not for what it means. She lets her eyes close for the first real moment all day, but sleep brings the echo of threats. In her dreams, doors slam and headlights bloom like false suns. She jerks awake to real noise, a clatter near the fence. She slides out, muscles coiled. A raccoon rummages in the trash heap, larger than her, eyes reflecting dull yellow. It hisses. She answers with a sound born older than mercy, a hiss that carries both warning and will. They circle once, twice. The raccoon lunges. She swipes, claws raking air, barely grazing fur. The creature retreats, muttering. She stays until the noise fades, until the night is still again. Her sides tremble, but she's won. The kittens are safe for another few hours. She climbs onto the fence post to watch the road. The asphalt gleams under moonlight, striped and endless. Far off, a set of headlights flickers, disappears behind a curve. The world feels too wide for one body to guard. She drops back down, returns to the crate and lies beside her sleeping litter. Their tiny paws twitch in dreams. She breathes with them, slow and even, sinking to their rhythm, as if it might keep them all alive. In the deep of night, the wind rises again, carrying new smells, rain approaching, distant thunder, wet earth. She stretches, then presses her body closer to the kittens, bracing for the storm. The first drops hit the roof, soft at first, then harder, drumming. Water seeps through the cracks of the crate. She shifts, shielding their faces from the cold spray. Lightning flares behind the clouds. Thunder follows with the roll of something ancient. The kittens cry. She licks their ears, purrs low, steady, a hum that fills the space between fear and comfort. When the storm finally passes, the air is clean, sharp, almost sweet. She steps out again into the dripping yard, looks at the sky now streaked with grey light. The first morning after the rain feels heavier but clear. Puddles reflect the low sun. Her reflection stares back, thin, dirty, scarred but standing. The crate smells of wet wood and milk. She will have to move it soon. The damp will sicken them. She knows nothing of planning, only of now, yet now tells her it's time to find higher ground. She tests each step, searching for a dry place under the barn's tilted roof. When she finds it, she carries the kittens one by one, gripping them gently by the scruff, ignoring their small protests. By the fifth trip, her legs shake, but the new nest is dry, hidden, safe enough. She curls around them again, panting, heart racing, but a soft noise catches her ear. The same small bell she's heard before, the sound of the boy's door opening. She listens. Footsteps, then silence. When she peeks through the slats, the boy is gone. But near the fence, a new bowl gleams. Fresh food, real food. The smell hits her like memory. She hesitates, every instinct screaming trap, but hunger argues louder. She darts out, grabs what she can, runs back before the bowl stops rocking. The kittens mewl when she returns, noses lifting toward her. She feeds them in pieces, patient, precise, until the nest grows quiet once more. The air cools as the sun drops, painting the field in slow amber. She looks toward the fence again. The bowl still sits there, half full. Tomorrow she'll try for more. For tonight she closes her eyes, tail wrapped tight, the rhythm of 5 small hearts pulsing against her chest. The world outside is still cruel, still waiting, but for this single breath of evening, she has done enough to keep them alive. And as darkness folds around the barn, one question hovers at the edge of her weary mind, steady as the heartbeat beneath her ribs. How many nights like this can love endure before the world demands another price? The barn roof leans just enough to look tired, metal sheets rattling whenever the wind slips under them, but it offers shade and a dryness the crate never could. The white cat stretches, bones clicking softly, then lowers herself again beside the 3 strongest kittens, while the smallest one fights to stay attached to her belly. Morning air smells of wet earth, oil, and the faint sweetness of spilled grain that has long since turned sour. The world is calmer after the storm, but calm never means safe out here. Calm is just the pause before the next demand, the next chase, the next sprint that tears muscle and burns lungs for the right to keep breathing. Her ribs show more than they used to. Still, she lifts her head at every snap of twig, every whisper of grass. She has learned that danger speaks in small sounds first, and only later in teeth and wheels. Hunger arrives again, slow but absolute. She noses each kitten, confirming life, then heads toward the edge of the yard. The bowl left by the child is empty now, sun-dried and light, too clean to promise anything. Her tail flicks once as she turns toward the ditch, already mapping the route through memory. Step over the rusted pipe, slip between the leaning fence posts, keep low when the road comes into view. The asphalt radiates leftover heat from yesterday's sun, and the faint shimmer of exhaust clings to it like ghost breath. A truck passes, loud and fast, sending a wave of air that whips her fur flat. She waits for silence, then dashes across the open patch where weeds don't grow, the exposed stretch that makes her feel as if 100 eyes are watching, even when none are. The trash pile is thicker than before. Fresh bags, fresh accidents, fresh chances. She digs past cardboard softened by rain, finds a half-eaten sandwich crushed under a soda cup, and claws it free. Bread sticks to her teeth, salty and stale, but it is food. She tears off chunks with quick bites, swallowing more than chewing because she knows the rhythm of this place. Eat fast, retreat faster. Footsteps crackle behind her. A man's voice fires into the air. "I told you to stay out of here." Gravel scatters under his shoes as he charges, arms swinging. She abandons the sandwich and leaps back through the fence gap, body scraping the wood, claws skidding in dirt. A sharp rock hits the post beside her head, splintering the grain. She doesn't slow until she reaches the barn again, chest heaving, eyes wide. The kittens stir, catching her panic, so she lowers herself and licks their heads until their fear dissolves back into sleep. That is her first small victory of the day, running without losing what matters. The afternoon drags with a thick, dusty heat. The barn air grows heavy, that slow weight that settles on fur and lungs alike. A single fly circles her head, landing once on her ear, and she flicks it away, eyes drooping but not closing. 2 of the kittens crawl over her leg, tiny claws catching loose fur. Their eyes are open now, blue and dazed, seeing a world that will not care whether they stay or vanish. She nudges them toward the shaded part of the barn, where hay once lived, but now exists only as crushed memory. The smallest kitten tries to follow, legs trembling, and collapses halfway. She carries it gently by the scruff, sets it beside the others, and curls her body around all of them, forming a wall against the air that smells of rust and wood rot. A new sound rises, metal on metal, not from the barn, but from the road. A gate? A grill? No. The metallic scrape is too clean, too rhythmic. She crawls toward the barn opening and sees a man pushing a garbage bin toward the ditch, wheels shrieking against gravel. The bin lid lifts and scraps fall like a slow rain of second chances. Her whiskers flare, but the man turns, scanning the surroundings with the same suspicion she uses for predators. She waits. The bin clatters again, and he walks back toward the house, door slamming behind him. Silence returns, not peace but permission. She moves. This time, she circles wide, using tall weeds to hide her path. When she reaches the bin, the smell of chicken grease is so strong it burns her nose. She climbs the wheel, hooks her claws into a torn bag, pulls until it rips. Grease-soaked rice, bones and skin spill onto the dirt like treasure. She eats until her stomach stops clenching, then carries 2 small scraps back to the barn. One for the kittens to lick, one to soften with milk. That is her second victory. Not just stealing food, but keeping it. The sun drops low, painting long stripes of shadow across the yard. She settles in, grooming the kittens, preparing them for night when the world grows sharp again. But before darkness fully claims the field, a new scent moves through the air. Soap, fabric, warm skin. Human. The child appears barefoot, carrying something red. A blanket. He sets it near the barn entrance, steps back slowly, watching. She watches too, eyes unblinking. The boy crouches, small hands opening and closing, unsure whether to reach out. He doesn't. He just leaves the blanket and whispers something soft. A sound without anger, without threat. Then he runs back toward the house. She waits. The blanket smells strange, too clean, but it is soft, thick, warm. She drags it inch by inch to the kittens. Their bodies sink into it, sighing from instinct. She lies beside them, guarded but grateful in silence. Night thickens. Crickets chant their endless sermon. Somewhere a dog barks in bored warning, and a bottle breaks against concrete. The wind turns cool, carrying the smell of the highway again. Rubber, heat, and something invisible but always approaching. She stays awake, listening, watching the pattern of headlights blur against the distant hill. The kittens dream, paws twitching against the blanket. She presses her face into their fur, absorbing their warmth, and for the briefest moment, the world feels almost kind. Then the quiet ends. A rustle begins at the barn entrance, followed by a growl too low to be a raccoon. The dog steps inside, nails clicking against the floor, eyes glowing in the dark. Its breath smells of old meat and hunger. She rises, spine arched, tail puffed, body doubling in size though she is small and already tired. The dog advances, teeth bared. She hisses, stepping forward, not back. A mother's body is nothing, but her will is everything. The dog lunges. She leaps, claws flaring, raking its snout. It yelps, but lunges again, jaws snapping inches from her spine. She twists, shoves herself between the dog and the kittens, knowing she cannot win, but refusing to lose. A shout erupts outside. "Hey! Get out!" A rock flies, hits the dog's shoulder. It retreats, snarling, then bolts through the barn door and vanishes into the tall weeds. She collapses, shaking but alive. The kittens press against her, tiny bodies trembling. She licks each one slowly, breath ragged but steadying. That is her scene of proof. Fear swallowed, life defended, instinct undefeated. Later, when the barn quiets again, she listens to the wind scrape leaves across the ground. Her body hurts, but her eyes stay open. She knows now that even the barn is not enough. The world will keep pushing. Hunger, weather, dogs, stones, engines. None of them are done. But the kittens are still breathing, and that is all the math she needs. As the first thin line of dawn appears, the smell of rain returns. Stronger this time, heavy with promise and threat. She curls tighter around the kittens and watches the slice of sky between the boards turn from grey to blue. A day is coming, and she will have to meet it. The road is still out there, the trash still scattered, the boy still watching, the danger still gathering. Instinct whispers one truth into her bones: nothing holds forever. And the question that grows in her chest is sharper now, heavier, unavoidable. How many battles can a mother win before one takes more than she can spare? The air feels heavier that morning, a pressure that flattens every sound until the world seems to wait for something inevitable. The white cat moves slower now, her muscles sore from too many chases and too little food. The kittens follow her wobbling steps in a crooked line, their fur puffed against the cool dawn. Hunger pushes them toward the road again, the wide grey ribbon where food always smells stronger, but danger hums beneath every vibration. She can smell the grease from a diner dumpster, half a field away. The scent is warm, promising, full of lies she has learned to believe only when she must. She noses the smallest kitten back toward the group, then tests the air. No engines yet. The world holds its breath. She climbs the ditch first, every step silent. The road glistens with moisture left by the night. Her reflection wavers on the blacktop, a ghost made of ribs and scars. The kittens cry from the weeds, but she ignores the noise. Silence would only invite predators. She listens for the hum that warns of wheels. Nothing. She sprints across low and fast, tail flat, body skimming the ground. On the far side, she dives into the trash pile behind the diner, tearing open bags until her teeth meet soft bread and a trace of meat. She eats, then carries small pieces back one by one across the road. By the third trip, the sun climbs higher and traffic begins its daily roar. She waits for a break between the waves of sound. Cars flash past, gusts of heat against her fur. The kittens mew louder. She measures the distance, heart matching the rhythm of passing engines. Then, silence, a heartbeat of safety. She steps out, bones scrap between her teeth, eyes locked on the crate across the road. A rumble starts far away, faint but growing. She can't see it yet. She's already halfway. The sound deepens, a rising animal of steel. She glances left. Too late. Tires shriek, rubber burning, a horn slicing the air. Light flares across the asphalt. The impact is a single violent breath that knocks time off its axis. The world folds inward, then stillness. The driver slams the brakes, hands trembling on the wheel, phone clattering to the floor. Her scream rips the quiet apart. "Oh my God!" She stumbles from the car, shoes slipping on the pavement, heartbeat roaring in her ears. Two small shapes lie motionless near the painted line. The mother cat drags herself toward them, front paws clawing at the asphalt, hind legs trailing uselessly. She reaches one kitten, noses its fur, waiting for breath that won't come. The driver kneels, shaking, tears already mixing with rain dust. She whispers again and again that she's sorry, as if apology could stitch the moment back together. The cat doesn't look at her. She licks the tiny faces, presses her body between them, ignoring the pain spreading through her spine. The driver sees the movement, the broken legs, the stubborn life that refuses to leave. "I can't just leave you," she says, voice cracking. She glances toward the roadside weeds, where 3 other kittens cry, frightened and alive. She gathers them carefully, using her jacket as a cradle, then turns to the mother. The cat hisses weakly, too tired for defense. The woman takes off her scarf, wraps the trembling body, lifts her. The weight is almost nothing. Traffic slows as other drivers stare, unsure whether to stop. She waves them on, climbs back into her car with the scarfed bundle pressed to her chest. The road ahead blurs through her tears. Her phone keeps buzzing with unread messages, but she ignores them. She drives toward the nearest shelter sign she can find, whispering, hold on," to something that doesn't understand words, but understands tone. At the shelter, volunteers move quickly. Warm towels, shallow breaths, quiet urgency. They take the kittens first, setting them under a lamp, tiny bellies rising and falling. One nurse-like voice says, "These 3 will make it." Another voice lowers, "The mother's back legs." No movement. The woman stands apart, fingers shaking. "I hit them," she admits. "I was on my phone, I didn't see." The words collapse. No one blames her aloud, but the silence around her is heavy. The white cat wakes in a cage lined with soft blankets. Her hind legs lie still, wrapped in bandages that smell of medicine and soap. The room hums with machines and voices, too bright, too clean. She doesn't understand the space, but recognizes the absence of hunger. Food waits in a dish beside her, wet, rich, untouched. The surviving kittens nestle near her belly, mewing faintly. When she reaches to pull them close, her body doesn't respond the way it used to. Panic sparks in her eyes. A hand enters the cage, steady and gentle, guiding her. The same human scent from the road. She stiffens, then exhales, exhaustion overtaking fear. Days become a blur of lights and voices. The woman visits daily, bringing small treats, talking in whispers. The staff calls her the one from the accident, but she never corrects them. She just sits by the cage and lets the cat stare back. The animal's eyes are pale green, steady, without accusation. The kittens grow stronger, their legs sure, their cries louder. They climb over their mother, wrestle, fall asleep. She watches them with a mix of peace and sorrow that no language can name. Weeks later, when the wounds close but the legs remain still, the staff fits her with a small cloth sling so she can move by pulling herself forward. The first attempt ends in a fall, the second in frustration. The third time, she manages 2 steps before collapsing. The woman claps softly, tears in her eyes. "You did it," she whispers. The cat blinks, chest rising fast. Every inch forward is a rebellion against what the world tried to take. The shelter fills with other sounds. Barking dogs, ringing phones, doors opening and closing. But around her cage, time slows. Volunteers change her bedding, clean her bowl, stroke her head when she allows it. They name her Hope, though she answers to nothing. The kittens earn nicknames too, Ash, Willow and Sky, names chosen by people who don't know whether they'll keep them. The mother only knows their scents, their warmth, their breathing when they curl beside her at night. Rain comes again, drumming on the shelter roof. She dreams of the road, the smell of asphalt and thunder. In the dream, she runs without pain, crossing the painted line again and again, every crossing undoing the one that broke her. When she wakes, the woman is there, setting down a small toy made of bells. The sound is bright, light, nothing like the shriek of tires. The cat watches the bells roll, then presses a paw against them, the softest sign of curiosity. Months pass. The kittens grow sleek, strong, restless. They play with the bell toy, chase each other across the cage until the volunteers laugh. The mother stays still, tail twitching. Her eyes follow them, but also drift toward the door each time footsteps approach. She has learned that humans bring both pain and relief, but she never hisses anymore. The woman who caused the accident stops visiting for a week, then returns with a man beside her. They speak quietly to the staff. Papers rustle, signatures, smiles that try to cover guilt. When they come to the cage, the woman kneels. "We're taking you home," she says. The words mean nothing to the cat, but the tone means everything. Hands lift her, careful, confident. The kittens are placed in a carrier, meowing their surprise. For the first time since the crate by the road, the family is together and moving, not running from, but toward. Outside, the sky is bright, clean after rain. The car ride is long, but the woman hums softly, a tune without words. The cat closes her eyes, chest rising in rhythm with the hum. Behind her eyelids, the world is wide again. Fields, fences, the shimmer of heat on asphalt. But in this memory, there are no horns, no screams, no death, only motion. When they arrive, the air smells of grass and soap. A new house, quiet, full of sunlight. A small basket lined with the red blanket sits in a corner. The kittens explore first, tails high. The mother lies still until the man appears holding something strange. A small wheeled frame padded with fabric. He lowers it, lifts her gently, secures her in place. At first she struggles, confused, then finds balance. The wheels roll. Her front paws move. The floor glides beneath her. The woman laughs through tears. "You're walking," she says. The cat moves forward, slow, deliberate. Each turn, a victory. The kittens chase the wheels, batting at them. The room fills with their noise, their life. The woman sets down a bowl of food. The man opens a window. Wind moves through the curtains, carrying the smell of earth and safety. The mother stops, looks toward the light spilling across the floor, and for the first time since the road, she purrs, a low, steady vibration that feels like forgiveness. The shelter smells of soap and metal, a place where every sound carries. The clang of cages, the soft hum of washing machines, the hiss of disinfectant being sprayed across the floor. The white cat lies on her side in a space barely large enough to stretch, her hind legs still wrapped in pale cloth that smells faintly of medicine. The light comes from high windows where dust drifts like slow snow. She doesn't understand this brightness. She only knows that it never fades, that day and night mean less here. When volunteers walk by, their shoes squeak and echo. Voices overlap, gentle but hurried, language that means nothing but tone that means everything. Her kittens have changed. The small shapes that once fit under her chest now tumble around the cage like restless sparks. They climb, fall, chase each other's tails, crash into the metal bars with soft thuds. They drink milk from shallow dishes instead of from her body, though sometimes they still nuzzle against her belly out of habit. She lets them. It reminds her that she is still something more than broken. One volunteer with kind hands, people call her Mara, slides a hand through the open slot of the cage to stroke the kittens. The mother stiffens every time, but she no longer hisses. The hand smells of lavender soap and old cotton. There is no threat in it. Days turn into patterns. Morning begins with the clang of food bowls, the smell of meat and antiseptic. Then come the voices reading names, the shuffle of paper, the click of pens as new arrivals are logged. Some animals leave, some never wake. Life moves forward in rows of cages, predictable and mechanical. For the cat, progress is measured in inches. She learns to drag herself toward the water bowl, using her forelegs to pull her weight. The first attempt ends in collapse, a low cry swallowed before it can reach air. The second attempt carries her halfway. By the third, she reaches the bowl. Mara watches, smiling through glass. That tiny journey becomes a celebration. A small note written on the whiteboard outside her cage. Moved on her own today. Weeks pass. Her fur grows glossy again, white like a clean page, though a dark scar runs along her spine. The kittens learn the rhythm of feeding time, their cries forming a chorus that fills the hall. They grow curious about everything beyond the bars, the rolling carts, the gloved hands, the buckets sloshing with warm water. They are not afraid the way she still is. One evening, while the light outside turns gold, a different volunteer stops at her cage carrying a folded strip of fabric and 2 small wheels. He kneels, murmuring to Mara. The smell of rubber and leather fills the space. The mother cat watches as they assemble something on the floor. 2 wheels connected by a narrow frame, straps dangling. Mara opens the cage. The cat trembles, unsure. The man waits, hand still, patient. After a moment, she crawls forward, curious despite fear. They lift her gently, securing the straps around her belly and chest. The weight feels wrong at first, foreign. The wheels press against her ribs. When they let go, she tips sideways, claws scraping metal. A sound escapes her throat, a hiss half-formed by pain and panic. Mara steadies her, whispering, "It's all right. Try again." The cat lowers her head, front paws gripping the floor. She pushes once, nothing. Again, a jerk of motion, the wheels twitching behind her. The third time they roll. The frame follows her lead, not fighting it. She moves one step, then another, tail dragging like a memory. The volunteers cheer softly. She flinches at the noise but doesn't stop. 10 seconds of motion, then she collapses. They lift her back into the cage, wrapping her in the red blanket the child once gave. Her chest rises fast, but there is pride in the rhythm. That night she sleeps without nightmares. Rain batters the roof the next morning. Water streaks down the windows, turning the world outside into smudged silver. The shelter hums with generators and murmurs. Mara arrives early, carrying a clipboard and a mug of coffee that smells like burnt sugar. She greets the cat by tapping the cage lightly. "Morning, Hope," she says, the name the shelter gave her months ago. The cat blinks once. The kittens are awake, wrestling over a toy made from string and tin foil. Mara changes the bedding, wipes the bars, replaces the water. She hums a tune that loops between notes like a heartbeat. The mother cat listens. Sound becomes comfort when touch still feels like risk. As weeks turn into months, the cat's world expands. Volunteers start placing her in a larger pen during cleaning hours. The floor there is smooth, easy for wheels. She learns to move without falling, to steer corners, to pause when one kitten darts across her path. The kittens chase her wheels, fascinated by the sound they make. She tolerates them with patient eyes, nudging them back when they get too close. Sometimes she catches her reflection in the stainless steel wall and doesn't recognize the creature staring back. A body changed, smaller at the back, stronger at the front, eyes older. Small victories build like breath. A day when she eats without help. A day when she grooms her tail despite the awkward angle. A day when one of the kittens climbs into her sling and she carries it in slow circles. Each success adds a note to the quiet music of survival. But every night, when the shelter darkens and the volunteers leave, she listens to the emptiness between mechanical beeps and distant barks. The air smells of bleach and fur, a mix of cleanliness and grief. In that silence, she sometimes dreams of the road, the hum of engines, the flash of headlights. She always wakes before the impact. Winter creeps in. The heaters rattle, filling the hall with dry warmth. Adoption days bring new people. Footsteps, laughter. The high voices of children pressing faces to glass. The kittens draw attention first. 3 bright lives tumbling in a pile of white and grey. Hands point, smiles spread, papers change hands. One family asks, "Can we take just one?" Mara shakes her head. They stay together until the mother is ready. The family hesitates, then leaves. The cat watches from the corner, unaware that the decision keeps her whole. Midway through the 4th month, a storm cuts power. The shelter falls into half-darkness, backup lights glowing red along the walls. The hum of machines fades. The air grows cold fast. Volunteers rush to cover cages with blankets. Mara lights a small lantern and kneels beside the cat's pen. "You'll be fine," she murmurs, rubbing warmth into her hands before touching the animal's head. The cat presses her nose against the skin. a gesture that surprises them both. Outside, thunder rolls. The kittens huddle under her frame, their tiny bodies shaking. She lowers herself until her chin rests on them, a barrier of fur and will against the chill. When the power returns hours later, the hall erupts in applause. She doesn't know what it means, but she knows they survived another night. By now, every volunteer knows her story. Some speak of her softly to visitors, how she was found on the road, how she refused to die, how she learned to walk again. Each retelling adds warmth to the air around her cage. People stop to look longer. Some take photos. The flash startles her, but she endures it. She doesn't understand the way humans honor survival through stories, but she feels the gentleness in their eyes. The kittens are almost grown, their bodies sleek, movements sure. They leap from one perch to another with impossible grace. Sometimes they forget she cannot follow, darting beyond the pen's gate until a volunteer brings them back. She never calls for them. She waits. Patience has become her language. When they return, she touches their faces with her nose, scenting them, counting. Always 3, always safe. One morning, Mara brings a new addition for the frame, a small red ribbon tied to the handle. "Decoration," she says, laughing. The cat tilts her head, unimpressed, but the color glows against her fur like a heartbeat outside her body. Later that day, the director of the shelter stops by, speaking in quiet tones. Papers again, schedules, something about visits and home checks. Mara nods, eyes bright. "Not yet," she says, "but soon." That evening, when the last of the lights dim, the cat curls around her children one more time. The air hums with the smell of kibble, disinfectant, and faint rain. Her frame rests beside her like a part of her body that can wait until morning. In the distance, a bell rings, a sound marking shift change, or maybe the end of another day saved. She closes her eyes and lets the rhythm of the shelter fill her ears. Breathing, machines, wind, rain. Not silence, never silence. Just life, constant and imperfect, still moving. The road outside hums somewhere beyond these walls, but it feels far now, softened by time and care. She dreams again of motion, not of running or falling, but of rolling across sunlight, her kittens racing ahead, their shadows stretching long and whole. And though she cannot know what tomorrow will bring, instinct whispers one small truth into the quiet. Survival, once learned, never leaves. Morning light slips through the shelter windows like melted gold. The air smells faintly of soap and rain. Doors open, voices echo. Footsteps cross the hall with a purpose that feels different from routine. The white cat lifts her head, sensing the change. Her kittens, now nearly grown, stretch and yawn against her side. The wheels of her small frame glint under the light. Mara enters, speaking softly to another woman and a man carrying a box lined with towels. Their faces hold that careful kind of joy people wear when something long-awaited finally arrives. The man kneels by the cage. The woman crouches beside him. Their scent is warm, cotton, grass, faint trace of coffee. Mara opens the door, and the cat's world expands again. "You're going home," Mara whispers. The word means nothing, but the tone feels like calm water. Hands lift her gently, familiar by now. The kittens meow, climbing the sides of the cage until they're lifted too, one by one, into the box. The family of 4 is whole again. The air hums with quiet wonder. Outside, the sky is washed clean. The road that once broke her now carries her forward, cradled in safe arms. The woman hums softly in the car, the same rhythm Mara used when cleaning the cage, a sound steady enough to rest inside. The kittens press against the blanket, tails twitching. The mother cat watches the moving landscape beyond the window, trees, fences, the blur of open fields. The motion feels familiar, but not cruel. For the first time, the hum of the engine doesn't mean danger, it means distance from the past. They stop at a white house edged with wildflowers. Wind pushes scent through the open door, soil, wood, something baking. The man sets the box on the porch, opens it, and lets the kittens tumble out. They explore instantly, noses to ground, tails high. The woman sets the mother cat down, still strapped into her small cart. At first the wheels catch on the rug, then roll free on the smooth floor. She hesitates, pushes forward once, twice, then finds balance. The sound of wheels on wood is soft, like breath. Every corner of the house holds new smells. Soap, leather, water from a nearby creek carried by the wind. The kittens vanish beneath a couch, reappear behind a chair, chase each other through sunlight pooling on the floor. The woman laughs. The sound is bright and round. She kneels to adjust the red ribbon tied to the cart's handle. "There," she says. "Perfect." They feed her from a small ceramic bowl painted with blue flowers. The food is rich, soft, nothing like the scraps from the road. She eats slowly, lifting her head between bites to watch the kittens. The man lays the old red blanket in a corner near the fireplace. It smells faintly of dust and memory, a thread connecting every version of her life. The woman places a bell beside it, the same kind Mara gave them from the shelter. The tone is light, almost laughter. Days fold into routine. Morning brings milk, sunlight, and the sound of the woman talking to the plants outside. Afternoon brings rest under the table, kittens sleeping against her side. Evening brings soft light, human voices low and kind. The cart becomes part of her body. She learns to turn sharply, to chase the kittens in slow arcs, to climb shallow ramps built by the man from spare wood. Each success draws applause, laughter, affection. She does not know what the words mean, but she knows what tone means. The kittens grow bolder, climbing curtains, stealing bread crusts, carrying the bell across the floor like prey. They return to her when thunder rolls outside. She shelters them still even now with the body the world tried to break. Her strength is quiet but certain. When she falls, she pushes again. When she reaches the window, she stops to watch rain slide down the glass, unafraid of the sound. One afternoon, the woman opens the back door to let sunlight flood the kitchen. A breeze moves the curtains. The smell of earth fills the air. The cat rolls her wheels toward it. Beyond the door lies grass, soft and bright. She hesitates at the threshold. The woman crouches beside her, whispering, "Go on." So she does. The wheels sink slightly into soil, then glide. The kittens race ahead, tumbling through clover. She follows, the ribbon fluttering behind her like a small flag of survival. They spend hours there. The man sits on the steps, sketching. The woman tends flowers, her hands deep in soil. The cat moves between light and shadow, wheels leaving thin tracks that fade quickly in the wind. Birds scatter overhead. Insects hum. Life surrounds them in layers of sound. For the first time since the crate beneath the storm, she belongs somewhere that does not require fear. As dusk settles, the woman calls softly, and the kittens return one by one. The mother rolls back inside, muscles tired but steady. The room glows with firelight. She eats, drinks, then settles onto the red blanket. The kittens curl around her, purring. The man places a hand on her back, gentle, careful not to touch the scars. The woman sits beside them. Silence grows, not empty but full. Breaths, heartbeats, warmth. Weeks become months. The kittens turn sleek and strong. The cart squeaks less now. The man has oiled the wheels. Outside, seasons change. Rain to heat, leaves to frost. And still the house stays filled with life. The mother cat learns to climb short stairs using her front legs and the rhythm of the wheels. She learns where the sun falls every morning and waits there before it reaches the window. She learns that the door opens when the bell rings. Sometimes when the house is quiet, she dreams. The road still appears, shining black, endless. But in the dream, no cars come. The wind is warm, not cruel. She sees two small shapes beside the line, waiting. They do not call. They do not move. She walks to them on steady wheels, nuzzles them, and the light grows until everything is white again. When she wakes, she is back on the blanket, surrounded by the three who lived, and the world feels complete. One afternoon, a letter arrives. Mara's handwriting covers the front. The woman reads aloud, smiling. She's asking for a photo of Hope and her babies. The man sets up his camera. They arrange the cats near the window where sunlight paints them gold. The mother sits in her cart, ribbon tied fresh and bright. The kittens cluster around her. The click of the camera captures not tragedy, but endurance. The woman prints the photo, slides it into an envelope with a note. She's home. Thank you for saving her life. When night falls, the family settles. The man closes the window. The woman dims the lights. The mother cat rests her chin on the blanket's edge, listening to the steady rhythm of breathing all around her. The bell lies silent beside her paw. The house creaks softly, alive. She drifts between waking and sleep, not guarding, not fighting, just being. Morning returns with quiet certainty. The cart waits by the door. The kittens stretch, ready to run. The woman pours milk. The man hums while tying his shoes. Ordinary life has become extraordinary by its peace. The cat moves toward the doorway, wheels rolling smooth across wood, sunlight brushing her fur until she glows. She stops for a heartbeat, looks back at the people who saved her, at the kittens who outgrew fear, at the room that smells of safety. The air tastes of warmth and dust and something else, something like forgiveness. She steps forward, the bell jingling once, clear and small. The sound fades into morning as she crosses into the light, and because every story of survival deserves to keep breathing beyond the page, hit like, subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from. Share this story so more people remember what mercy can do. The house naps in a slow afternoon hush, and in that quiet, a life settles into place. Bowls rinsed and refilled, a red ribbon retied with careful fingers, a window cracked open to let in air that smells of grass and warm wood. The white cat moves by the doorway in her small cart, wheels whispering over clean floorboards, shadow shaped like a question finally answered. Her 3 grown kittens drift through sunstripes and chair legs, a soft braid of motion that never asks permission from fear anymore. There is nothing dramatic left to fight here, only the gentle work of keeping, of feeding, of showing up every day until safety turns into a habit. The bell by the blanket rings once when a paw brushes it, a bright pin of sound that marks the moment like a date on a calendar. The woman laughs from the kitchen. The man hums in the hall. The house is a body with many small hearts, and all of them beat. She pauses by the window where the glass remembers rain. Beyond it, the road glints in the distance, thin as a line drawn to teach proportion, not threat. The past is still there, but it has been folded and put away. She lowers her head, breathes, and the room breathes with her. The cart turns easily now. Practice has carved a path no wheel forgets. One kitten brings the bell to her, drops it with a clink and presses its face to hers. She answers with a slow blink, the language of peace. The day will slide into evening and then into night. Bowls will empty and fill. The blanket will hold a circle of warmth shaped exactly like a promise kept. This is what survival becomes when it has time. Ordinary, steady, whole. Hit like, subscribe, and tell us the city and time you're watching from, so more people remember that mercy, once chosen, can turn any house into a home.